Dr. Doreen 𝗂𝗓𝗓 is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen 𝗂𝗓𝗓.
Dr. 𝗂𝗂𝗓𝗓.
Dr. Doreen 𝗂𝗂𝗓𝗓.
Dr. Doreen 𝗂𝗂𝗓𝗓 is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen. Happy New Year to my favorite duo. It's Taryn from Louisiana again with the 3.5-year-old. I'm wondering if all autistic individuals struggle with academics. My boy is still in full-time ABA program and will be for as long as we can keep him in there, but wondering for the future, is school harder for our kids? And thank you so much. Thank you, Taryn.
Nice to hear from you, Taryn.
Yes.
No, so it varies. So for some kids, some aspects of school are harder. For other kids, school is the easiest. So I have had kids where their academic status is so high that it kind of pulls everyone to them socially as well. And then I've had kids where some aspect of school is very hard. So, for example, there are children who have a difficult time, a lot of kids have a difficult time with things like listening comprehension, or, abstract concepts like reading paragraphs and being able to summarize them or explain a story, book reports, those types of things. That tends to be an area of difficulty for some kids. And some other children have a really hard time with math. On the other hand, I have kids who are brilliant with math as well. So I think it really varies. And if your child is having a particular difficult time with some aspect of school, I would want to figure out if you have a good teacher, first of all, because, sometimes our kids are the ones that are the quiet ones. They're not the squeaky wheels. And so they get left behind and no one is giving them assistance. So that is probably the first place I'd go, is like get an observation going so you can see actually what's going on. Sometimes if you're there, things might not be quite as the same as if you were not there. You might want to have a friend do an observation. And then you also will want to make sure that you ask for accommodations in the IEP, because that's the whole purpose of IEPs, right? Is that they are individualized for your child. So you can be in regular ed and still have an IEP that helps accommodate for your child. So like, for instance, maybe your child needs to have an idea of what is going to be taught the next day. So that would be sent home with them. Maybe your child, and you could then prepare them a little bit. Maybe your child needs more time on tests or those types of things, or even accommodated homework. Like maybe your child takes a longer time doing homework, so they should reduce the amount of homework for your child, that kind of stuff. And accommodation, I mean, you guys, one of the things I'm really passionate about is making sure our kids are successful when they go to school. So whatever aid they need, whether it's another person, additional time, practice, books, worksheets, regular conversation with the teacher making modifications for the child, rewarding them, putting them in the front, getting their attention, getting another child to help your child, whatever it might be. I'm all about helping our kids be successful in school. It's a big part of their lives, and it will affect their ego, how they feel about themselves.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I would really focus on making things a little bit better there.
Yeah, I feel like our kids, when they go to school, it's almost like they're the test for the school, because if all things are working well, our kids swim to the top.
Sure,
they do amazing.
100%.
But a lot of times what your child needs will show where there's a deficit in the school. And my perfect example is Dr. 𝗂𝗂𝗓𝗓, that at one point she was at a private school for girls, and the girls bullied her.
Yeah.
And so she acted out and took books and threw them at the girls and got thrown out.
Yeah.
And her mom defended her and said, I'm taking her out of here because they were mad at Temple for throwing the
Right,
books, right?
right.
And she says they called her the R word. And so
Yeah.
she threw books at them.
Right.
And the mom was like, good, you should have thrown a book at them.
Yeah.
You know? But then mom took her and put her in a different school, and the science teacher got her.
Yeah.
And the science teacher
right.
said, hey, and turned her on to things that she's become this wonderful professional who teaches the next generation of how to handle livestock. So it really comes down to, are they taking, so, you know, you're going to do all the things that Dr. 𝗂𝗢𝗂𝗧 said so that you make sure that your child is having that level of experience. And if they aren't, it's the school's fault.
There's something going on, yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had kids where from one year to the next, their whole life changed because their teacher changed.
Yep.
And it only had to do with having a teacher that really paid attention and wanted to learn and figure you out and give you the things you need. And remember, there's nothing different about this. Every child needs to have things they're good at, as well as things that are a little bit harder, but things that are good at that will motivate them to keep going.
Yeah.
So this is very, very important that your child doesn't feel like they're failing at everything.
Absolutely. Don't forget, you can watch Ask Dr. Doreen live every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific time. We hope to see you there.